again, welcome to our video lessons and malaking pasasalamat ko po for continuously subscribing in my YouTube channel. So this lesson is intended for methods of research writers, also for the grade 12 students who are now taking up practical research too. I think it will help you a lot. So this time, I will be discussing to you in writing the introduction. Actually, continuation ito ng previous video ko. So, how to write an introduction? First, we should have to describe the situation, condition, link the situation to existing body of knowledge. So, yun siya, included dapat. Present historical development leading to the occurrence of the situation. Okay, what else? Cite also statistics and authoritative sources to support the ideas and relate the background to the proposed research problem. So please take note also that the research problem is that um, can be used as a frame of reference in the discussion. Also, it presents possible solutions to the problems as the purpose of the study and integrate and challenge the readers to become interested in knowing the result of the proposed study. So, guides in making introduction. Number one, present with all possible clarity the nature and scope of the problem being investigated. So, for example, why did you choose the study and why it is important? Second, review pertinent or related literature to orient the reader. What was the problem and how do you attempt to resolve it? Ganon. Okay. Three, state the methods of investigation. What method and why you choose a particular method. Four, Fourth is state the principal results of the investigation. And fifth is that suggest how results will be utilized and who will be benefited. So SOP, what is an SOP? It's the general and main problem must jive with the title and be stated in such a way that it is not answerable by yes or no, when and where. So when we see sub-problem must be logical and clear-cut analysis of the general and main problem, must be extensive in coverage or no overlapping. So also must be arranged in logical order from factual to analytical. SOP ito ha, statement of the problem. And must exclude background, expected conclusions, applications, and recommendations. So SOP, maybe it can be written as interrogative form. Example, ayan, kita nyo sa screen. Or declarative form. Now let's proceed with hypothesis. Hypothesis meaning it's a wise guess to explain the observed facts in the study. It tells what to do, how to go about in solving the problem. So actually hypothesis is an expected answer to a problem. So it should be reasonable. It's based on theory, empirical evidence, okay? It should be testable, concepts that are clear and can be operationalized, meaning they have empirical reference. So there are techniques to measure variables. Specific interpretation are spelled out and related to body of theory. So here are some guidelines in writing the hypothesis. First is that hypothesis must be in the statistical form, characterized as follows. Number one, used when tests of significance of relationship and differences of measures are employed. Second is the level of significance is stated. And third is refers to a specific problem statement. So here is an example of hypothesis, a tentative solutions or answer to inquiries. Yan. Now, in addition, assumption means presumed to be true statement of facts related to the problem. It gives foundation to form conclusion and can be included in the background of study. So here is an example of assumptions. Now, after you writing your hypothesis, now let's proceed with the significance of the study, meaning this is the importance of the study and presented either in the inductive or deductive perspective, meaning has a, wait lang, has contribution to solving the problem and need, bridging a knowledge gap, improving social economic health and conditions, generating information for policy action, and generate technology to increase productivity. Kaya nga, I always advise my students to write significance into 2 to 3 sentences. What else? So scope and delimitation, meaning it includes the coverage of the area, study area, what else? The subject, research instrument, issues and concerns, and the duration of the study. Also constraints that have direct bearing on the result of the study. Now, the last part of chapter 1 is the definition of terms. So actually there are two types of definition. You can write it as conceptual, meaning based on concepts or hypothetic ones which are usually taken from dictionary, while operational definition is based on observable characteristics and how it is used in the study. Now in our research, we usually use operational definition. So once again, thank you so much. I hope you can prepare now your chapter 1, no? And see to it that you can submit it to me through email, messenger, or you can call me, or we can think personally if you want. Thank you so much, and please don't forget to share and subscribe to YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye bye.